Hello and welcome to Foodie Friday. I'm Emily Leggett, the head of the teen department at Tewksbury Public Library, and today we will be making Halloween cheesecake brownies. On the screen you'll find a list of ingredients you need to make both the brownie layer and the cream cheese layer. This does not include any utensils, and you will also need an 8x8 pan. Let's get started. Alright friends, first, you're going to grab a medium bowl and pour 1 cup of granulated white sugar inside. You're also going to notice I have a paper towel under this bowl. That is because I make a mess. You will see a mess through this whole video. If you want to make sure you're covered, you can put a plate or a paper towel or something underneath, but that's just for me for keep everything nice and clean. Next, you'll be adding half a cup of all-purpose flour. The next addition to our brownie layer will be half a cup of special dark cocoa powder. Specifically, we used Hershey's brand for the one that we created. This is really the time where I recommend pouring that into a container if you don't have it already sectioned out from the library over a plate. The cocoa powder is super messy. If you're like me, you've had some time to clean up the cocoa powder, and then you are going to add half a teaspoon of salt. Sometimes you can do this over a plate just so you don't spill over like I did a little bit. It's up to you. It doesn't matter if there's like a little bit extra salt. The last thing we'll be adding is 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, so you're going to put that bowl to the side and get a smaller bowl. This is for our wet ingredients. Our first ingredient for the new bowl is 2 large eggs. You'll see I brought a paper bowl over. It's up to you. I just do that for if I get shell in it, I can pull it out easily, which I will in fact do in this one. So it's helpful so you don't have to mix it out of the bowl you're using. Doesn't super matter right now since we have nothing in our other bowl, but whatever's comfortable for you. Our next addition will be 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. Final ingredient for the brownie layer will be 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then you'll take a fork or spoon or whatever you'd like and mix it all together. Now we are going to combine our two bowls. So we have our dry ingredients and our wet ingredients, and then we're going to mix it with a spatula. Instructions are more thinking of like a silicone spatula. This is the one we had. You don't want to do one with holes in it if you can help it. You can also really use a mixing spoon. The only thing is it's going to get very thick. It's almost going to look like tar by the time you're done. Let's jump ahead to a little bit more of a mess, but a completed mix. You're going to put it in your 8x8 pan. You can put parchment paper down, or you can put spray, like cooking spray down, just to make sure it doesn't stick, and then you're going to spread it out in your pan. I will say I don't think I have an actual image of when I fully spread it out. You'll see it again when we add stuff later to it, but for right now you can put that pan aside. You can put it on the counter, you can put it in the fridge if you want, so we can get started on our cream cheese layer. Quick note here, you do want to take out 1/4 of your batter mix and put it in a separate bowl. We're going to save that for later for something else. Yay, cream cheese! Quite literally, you are going to be taking 8 ounces of cream cheese and putting it in a bowl. You want room temperature cream cheese, which will make it mixing easier. You really want to make sure it isn't like a solid chunk from being in the fridge. Next, you'll be adding 1/4 a cup of granulated white sugar. The following ingredient will be 1 large egg and then 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Here, friends, is when I remind you, probably don't pour it over the bowl like I do, because if you spill, which vanilla extract always does, you're going to get way too much. It's not the end of the world if this happens like it just happened to me. It still tasted good, but if you can put it in another bowl and then pour it in, that's the best bet. Okay, this next step is dependent on how much food coloring you have and what food coloring you have. If you just have an orange food coloring, you are good to go. You can put it in. We had to make our own. I believe we did about 14 to 16 drops of yellow and then 6 drops of red to get the orange that we got. But mess with it until it comes out exactly how you want it to. It won't fully look like a color until you start to mix everything together, which is our next step. When you're ready, you're going to mix this whole concoction together until it is very smooth. It can take a little bit because of the cream cheese. Okay, so you're going to bring your pan back over, and then you'll have your cream cheese layer. You are going to pour it on top of your other layer. I needed a spoon to get mine out and kind of like flatten it on top of it. That's completely normal if that happens to you. If it just pours out, perfect, also good. All right, now that we're smoothing this out, it's gonna look beautiful. We are going to destroy it, or at least make the pretty swirls that we want at the end up here. This is the time for you to grab that 1/4 batter that we set aside, and you're going to put it on top of the orange layer. It's not going to go flat at all. That's okay. You're going to lay it out in chunks, and then you're either going to take a knife or a toothpick, whatever works for you, your spoon, and like really mix it in to create the swirl design. So you're spreading out that 1/4 of batter on top of your orange layer. It's going to look messy. It's going to look a little questionable. It's okay. It's going to get the swirl design you want at the end. I chose to use a toothpick here. You're going to see it get messy. That's okay. That is what it is for, but it's going to look cool at the end. While I'm continuing to swirl this, you are going to get ready to cook this. So preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and then you're going to cook this for 30 to 35 minutes, depending on your oven. As always, I say like put a toothpick in. If it comes out clean, that's probably good. And you can also just sit it out for a little bit to let it cool. Once it's done cooking, you have 2 options. You can either say, I am done, I want this warm, or you can put it in the fridge. I put ours in the fridge for about half an hour, and I liked it much more after it was cool than when it was warm. That's just personal preference. Ta-da! You are done. You have created your very own cheesecake brownies. I hope you enjoy them. I hope they are delicious. And as always, please share them with us if you would like to. You can email us photos. Tell us how it went. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like. We love hearing about your Foodie Friday opinions. A final reminder that Foodie Friday is a monthly program, so you can either sign up at the library and get supplies provided for you, or you can just keep an eye on our YouTube channel as we upload them every month. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye!